Hi guys, Tracy and Dust. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be popping on talking about my favorite show, Married at First Sight Australia. This is a great episode. We have 3 new couples join the experiment and the dinner party. This is episode 16 and let's get right into it. I can't wait until Stephanie tells everyone about Tice's absolutely obnoxious behavior. He's so immature. Even though they are doing terrible, they decide to arrive to the dinner party together. Stephanie can't wait to see how he reacts to others challenging him. He does not like to be challenged, and he is very reactive. So this should be interesting because you know they're going to challenge him. And Rachel's eager to discuss his woke comment during his nuptials. She just wants to call him out on it. You know, it's his opinion and his view. It's just, it doesn't make sense why people want to change each other's views so much. He's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. She says she wants to understand what he meant by what he said. She knows what he means, and I find it hilarious that she thinks that she can change this man's opinion on his values and morals. She can't. Mind your own business. A lot of people during this episode are not minding their business. Stella and Philippe sage themselves before they go to the dinner party, and they sage their apartment so when they come back from the dinner party, they're good. They just have to make sure the evil spirits don't follow them home. Grayson believes Julia perhaps wanted to be paired with a woman. He just doesn't understand why they're not meshing. They get along well, and he's just exhausted by trying so hard to make something work that just apparently isn't going anywhere, according to Julia. Mel just can't make this relationship progress. This is just not her guy. At least she's not being mean to him anymore. I mean, if she just doesn't have that feeling for him, then she doesn't have that feeling for him. I'm surprised, though. I think he's such a great guy. He's good looking, and he seems really sweet, but apparently that's not what she's looking for. Alyssa's not excited about the dinner party tonight after last week's dinner party where she just got so ganged up on. But they're going to go because it's part of the experiment, and they just decided, the two of them, David and Alyssa, that if it got heated like it did last week, that they were just going to bail. They weren't going to sit there and take it, and I don't blame them. So they've agreed to leave if anything goes wrong and just be back in their little bubble where everything's perfect. Now that Beck's mad at Gia, she's going to make up with Alyssa. I mean, who else is she going to be friends with? She's pretty much burnt everybody else's bridges, but after the way she's treated Alyssa, I just don't see them being friends. The war resumes. It's ridiculous. Gia can't make up her own mind about people. She has to follow what everybody else does, and I think Beck believes if she says it's a lie about my husband enough times that people will actually start to believe her. But you know, the dark always comes to the light, and Beck has been very adamant about this conversation being had between her and Danny, how Danny feels like Gia's more her type than Beck. I don't think she would make this up. I mean, why would she make it up? And I think deep down Beck knows this, and she's just so upset and furious about it that she's gone a little crazy this episode. A lot crazy. Rachel and Steven arrive, and do you think these two will ever make it past the friend zone, or is it just a really nice friendship? I mean, I know that kiss was pretty steamy for Rachel, but I don't know how steamy it was for Steven. And I don't know if they've done anything else since. Actually, Beck does ask them about their relationship in kind of a rude way. Like she's some kind of expert. I think she's misunderstanding her role. She asked Steven and Rachel what's up, Then she tells Steven it's time for him to service his woman. I mean, what is that? The experts are just completely horrified, as I am too. I mean, who would say that to someone? And Steven isn't that kind of person that talks like that or appreciates anybody talk like that. It's just such an uncomfortable moment. It's just crude and obnoxious, and I'm so embarrassed for Beck. Danny, Steven, and Rachel, I'm embarrassed for all of them, but mostly Beck. Mel and Luke arrive, and I'm just disappointed. I guess it was just way too much to ask for them to make some kind of epic breakthrough where love can find its way in. At least she's being nice to him, but I mean, this is still just a friendship. The girls check in on Danny, and he's very quiet this episode. And he was pretty quiet the last dinner party as well, when everything went crazy and the rumors started flying about what he said to Gia. I think eventually we will find Gia isn't lying. And I think Beck knows it. And again, that's why her behavior is so odd tonight. I think she's scared of what Gia's going to say, perhaps even what Danny's going to say. So she deflects, gets into everybody's business, points a finger at everybody's relationship. She's just a complete and total nightmare. Grayson is by himself, sad, but it's a long time coming. He tells the group about the letter that Julia wrote him, and she broke up with him in a letter that she read to him. Julia is giving him a word salad. She gives everyone a word salad. Lots of talking about rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns, in my opinion, and not much substance to it at all. It's just actually quite boring and just a vacuous relationship. I would just be so bored out of my mind if I were Grayson. And I wonder tonight if Beck is on something. Her behavior is totally out of the ordinary. It's wild, or at least it's out of the ordinary from what I've seen on the previous episodes. I've never seen this side of Becca. Not like this. When Julia arrives, she and Grayson embrace. There really are feelings here, but not more than friends on Julia's side. And I don't know if beautiful Grayson has ever experienced a woman not being interested in his advances. I just don't think he knows how to handle that. Beck then tells Philippe that him telling Stella she can't have a second champagne when they were at the other couple's nuptial was a bit controlling. And he's like, what are you talking about? She told me to only let her have one. She can have whatever she wants. She was asking me to hold her accountable. That's the kind of relationship we have. And he's really kind to Beck because what she did was really rude. He set her straight, but in a very polite way. Beck says Danny and I are this, Danny and I are that, but it's all BS. You and Danny aren't anything. This relationship is going nowhere. And you telling everybody that it isn't convincing anyone, not even Danny. Scott and Gia show off their tattoos. So stupid after 1 month. At least it wasn't each other's names. It was really more of married at first sight, type of tattoo, which is fine. This is something that's a big part of their life and will always be. But the rest of the couples were kind of shocked. Just like we've met Mel 2.0, which was actually better, Brooke 2.0, which is a total nightmare. Now we're meeting Beck 2.0, and it's not pretty. I don't like Beck 2.0 at all. I'd like the old one back. Alyssa and David arrive looking stunning, and as a very strong couple, they are on the same page, and they are not going to let anybody get to them this dinner party. Chris and Sam arrive, and Gia is over the moon because she has no more friends. She needs some, and she really doesn't want to be friends with Alyssa, but she felt like that was the best bet. But now she's got these two guys there that she can try to manipulate and become buddy-buddy with. And Gia can be very jealous over other girls. That's why she loves gay men so much. There's no competition, and they always think she's so gorgeous and wonderful. It's just a good match for her. And it's not going to make Scott jealous. Gia's trying to make friends with Alyssa, you know, by just throwing Beck under the bus, telling her all these things that she's heard about her through Beck because they've known each other in the outside world. And Alyssa's just like, this isn't tracking. We don't even know each other. We've met like 2 times and not really, just really casually. Stephanie and Tyson arrive, and this should be interesting. Stephanie and Tyson tell the group the honeymoon was a total disaster. They're on the same page about that. And then Jewel and Juliet arrive, and Beck is absolutely ready to attack everyone, really, but she really goes at Joel. She didn't like some of the things that Joel said during his nuptials, which, I mean, they didn't go over well. It was a joke. He was kidding about most of it, but she took it to heart, and she decided she was going to come at him. The way she gets up and goes for Juliet is insane. I thought her wine was going to splash right out of her glass. I love how Juliet just shut it down. Juliet just told her, go get to know him yourself. You'll like him. He's lovely. She's the ride or die girl. There's that word again that Tyson loves to use, submissive. I absolutely hate this word. I understand how it triggers people. And Rachel interrupts his discussion with Julia, which was going rather nicely. And Tyson knew his anti-woke comment would be a problem for some, and clearly they are a huge problem for Rachel. She's even trying to bring Julia on her side about it. Just because Julia is bisexual, it doesn't mean she's woke. Stephanie feels the same as Tyson, but she doesn't want to take that conversation on. She knows how and when to have that discussion, and it is not at this moment. She doesn't even know these people. Tyson can't stand Beck, and I understand why. I mean, she's been so rude to everybody, and this is not a very good first impression. Now Beck goes after Joel, and I mean, no one is off limits for her. She has really gone off the rails. I'm uncomfortable with her behavior. Juliet is a leader, not a follower. She doesn't let others tell her how to feel, and she doesn't let their feelings about her husband change hers whatsoever. I like her. Joel's also very confident. Even after Beck goes after Joel, he calls her out for needing attention, and she 100% does. He couldn't be more right, and he's only known her for 5 minutes. I wish Danny would tell Beck to chill out, but Danny's just sitting over there in the corner not saying a word, just taking it all in. Juliet sees the mean girl in Beck. I do believe Juliet will join the nice girl club. Stella, Rachel, Mel? Maybe not Mel. I mean, she seems to be part of the group. They love her. But she's not exactly a nice girl the way she's treated her guy. So maybe Alyssa is part of that nice girl club. Sam and Chris are progressing nicely. I hope the kid thing doesn't scare Sam off. I hope they give it a chance. But that's a lot to take on for not even knowing somebody at all. Scott and Gia get compliments from Sam and Chris, and this makes Beck go absolutely nuclear. How dare they compliment Gia and Scott's relationship? What about her and Danny? Beck tells the group that Gia said Julia had mentioned she wished she'd been matched with a woman, which Grayson has a feeling that that's possibly true. I have a feeling that's possibly true, but maybe not something that should be said out loud. Well, Julie didn't like this, not one bit. So she starts going after Grayson. Grayson's like, I didn't say it. Gia said it. I didn't say it. Beck said it. And then she realized she was going after the wrong person. And she realized she didn't really like the way she was talking to Grayson. Grayson was so sweet and loving and kind to her, and always has been, that she actually apologizes to him. She says, this is not how I want us to be. And they hug. They really like each other. It might not be a love match, but it's certainly a friendship one. Chris didn't even know who Beck was paired with, because Danny was keeping his distance from crazy Beck tonight, and that's very telling. I mean, he hadn't sat next to her all night long, and it's like the devil got inside her that night. I've never seen anything like it. Although it's kind of similar to how Brooke was acting after she realized her relationship wasn't going to work out. She really changed. And I think that's what's going on here with Beck. I think she realizes her and Danny aren't going to work out. And that's why she keeps talking about how great they're doing over and over again. She's trying to convince herself and Danny. Gia tells Chris that Danny told her she is more her type. I really don't think Gia's lying. The more Beck spins out of control, I can see it clearly. Gia is so over Beck's behavior tonight that she is threatening to expose her. She has text messages from Beck talking negatively about Alyssa and other people, and she's just ready to put it all out there. You could see Becca getting nervous. Beck told Gia, go ahead, do it. Beck tells Gia Alyssa is still in love with her ex, and this is the information that she divulges to the group and to Gia on the text. She just is out for revenge on everybody's relationship. That's when Scott kind of calls her out and says, why is your husband not sitting next to you? Think about it. Danny seems to be having some anxiety, and he can't even speak. He is so worried about how he looks on camera. His head is spinning, and Danny is a pretty quiet guy, and Beck is like the Tasmanian devil. These two just do not go together. And she tells Danny to stand next to her, and he mumbles really quietly, don't tell me what to do. So I imagine their conversations when they're alone and not in front of the cameras are very different. He doesn't want to be portrayed as this mean, angry guy that he was being portrayed as at the beginning as this womanizer, cheater. He did not want that to be who he is to America. So he's been very quiet. But I don't think he likes what's happening, and I think she knows it. He's told her in private, pretty sure of it. Okay, guys, I hope you join me with the next episode. I'll be dropping tomorrow. I can't wait to watch. And I hope you all have a really great week. I know a lot's going on. So love your family, hug your family, and enjoy your week. Take care. Bye.